Hello, everybody. Good evening. Cyber and I say, how is it going? We're hanging out, chilling, and
Hello, hello.
decided to do a show on the go-go. Let's do a little little shmoo, and hang out. And I like to say shmoo because the algorithm can't pick up shmoo. I like that. I like code, algorithm, alga code. We're gonna call it alga code. Little alga code. Little alga code.
Mm,
Little man. I wonder what the if what the words do come up when I'm saying talking like that. I like to see that. Let me blow this ashy blue out. Ash.
you should say out loud those characters from that forum.
Yeah.
See if you
Right.
can crash the
Hey,
fucking.
hey Alexa, crash the internet.
Yeah.
Hey, let's feed that into chat AI. Chat GPT, I mean. Chat AI.
Yeah.
God, I sound like such a boomer. Put that in your chat AI, kids.
On the interwebs.
The interwebs, yes. Oh. How sitting on a gaming chair tragically killed a 14-year-old. Sitting on a gaming chair.
That is probably even he was sitting down for 48 hours without moving, or he did something. I want to bet it was not the gaming chair and the mechanism of sitting down that killed him. I
I was
almost
I
want
was
to bet that.
thinking I was thinking maybe it was like had like electrical components in it and he spilled something and it got electrocuted like an electric chair. Could you
Yeah, you can you
imagine?
can
Oh god.
you can buy something called there's something called an ass kicker. You can buy it if you have flight simulators, so it kind of you can feel the engine in your ass and shit like that.
It's funny.
And then you can buy a whole fucking flight seat so you can feel it in the back and shit like that.
Oh,
Something like
Billy
that could
would love
probably.
this. Billy would love this so much. I wish Billy was here to enjoy this ass kicker you speak of. He would be so impressed.
I actually thought about get one at some point, but they cost a lot, so I didn't want to buy one. Too much flight sims. All right, I'm packed.
All right. Cheers, Cyber. Cheers, Cyber.
Cheers,
And
brother.
cheers,
Cheers,
Cyber.
everybody.
Cheers, Cyber is the only person in the chat right now. No longer going to cannabis. Everybody, cheers.
Cheers, bro. That's weird. I mean, I got notifications, so you send out notifications.
People read the title and they're like, "No, man, you're talking down to us. You're being condescending. We're not clicking on you now." Oh yeah? Oh, your show's just one big long show on permanent loop. Okay, well I'm not gonna click on it then. Okay, let's go into the death by chair video.
Yeah, I want
You
to
know the
hear what it's
feeling.
all about.
You've come home from work or school and you just want to sit down. You slip off your shoes at the front door, drop your bag off on the couch, and stroll over to your desk. There's a new
Grab
YouTube
a box
video
of
that drops in from
Kleenexes.
your
Take
favorite
off your
creator,
jeans.
and you're excited to watch it. You roll your chair
You're ready
over
for
to
the
desk
internet.
and plop down on the seat. In an instant, you're thrown across the room. When you finally come to, all you can remember is a loud bang rocketing through your bedroom. You drag your hands across your body to see if you're okay when you feel a hot stickiness. You close your eyes, hoping it won't be what you think it is.
Blood.
But when you bring your hands up in front of you to look,
This is so weird.
their crimson sheen betrays your injury.
This is so weird.
Next thing you know, you're in the emergency room, and surgeons are busy pulling chips, shards, and metal scrap from your abdomen. How could sitting in an office chair go so very, very wrong? What makes an office chair go boom?
Oh, that's the gas where you can, you have that lever to raise it up and down.
Yes.
That's a gas pressure inside. I heard of those where if you somehow back in the 80s, people was abusing that thing in schools and shit, and they blew up. They literally blew up and hurt people because the gas exploded. I don't know if that would be it,
That's crazy.
but that right now that is my bet.
He laid back on his bed to rest while his sister, Miss Leo, who had just gotten out of the shower, sat down at her desk to twiddle around on the internet while blow-drying her hair. Then, with no warning, a sharp bang ripped through the room, and a powerful surge of air followed, throwing the room into disarray. In the aftermath, Mr. Leo, still reeling from the sudden pressure change, looked around their ransacked room to see his sister laying still on the floor.
God damn.
Her body thrown like a dead thing against the side of their bed. She was still conscious, but just barely, and passed out moments later. With his sister's blood pooling on the floor around...
Channels like this are disgusting, man. I can't even watch it. Oh my god. I can't handle that. How can you talk about something that's so awful, these people getting killed, and characterize it with this stupid announcer and these stupid fucking cartoons, man? It's unwatchable to me, and I hope stuff like that's unwatchable to you guys too. I hope you would also turn it off right when I did, because I can't stomach it any longer. It's an insult to my intelligence. This might be interesting.
Donald Trump has been criminally indicted for interfering with the 2020 presidential election. He's alleged to have participated in a vast conspiracy to interfere with the election and hold on to power. Yes, a federal grand jury impaneled in Washington, D.C. has indicted Donald J. Trump on 4 felony counts as part of Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
And the reason why I'm clicking on this video is because of the title. It says, "The Insane Trumpsurrection Indictment in D.C." So I'm like, what's insane about it?
Smith said in his press conference,
"Today, an indictment was unsealed."
Or is he saying it's insane because it's a former president? I don't think any of us are shocked anymore. Nothing can shock us anymore, right?
Yeah. No.
Nothing is shocking.
Charging Donald J. Trump with felony violations of our national security laws, as well as participating in a conspiracy to obstruct justice.
So if you're counting, that makes 3 indictments and 78 criminal counts in 2
That's
states.
the count.
and the
Blah,
District of
blah.
Columbia.
78. Ha ha. 78. A wonderful number. Beautiful number. Yes. Ha 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 ha. 78. I count. The count is 78.
Trump is the first president in U.S. history to try to interrupt the peaceful transfer of power to his successor, and the first Home Alone 2 actor to be indicted 3 separate times.
Down the hall and to the left.
So how close did the conspirators come to succeeding, and how serious did they think it would be for Trump to refuse to leave? Well, according to the indictment, when a deputy White House counsel told one of Trump's co-conspirators, Jeffrey Clark, that there would be mass protests if Trump remained president despite no findings of voter fraud, Clark said, quote, "That's why we have an Insurrection Act." Now, there was wild speculation about what this indictment would actually look like, and here what the Department of Justice did is very interesting. Instead of breaking things up piecemeal, they allege that all the efforts to change or subvert the election are part of one general conspiracy that aimed to reverse the election. And while the indictment mentions the Capitol riots and Trump's speech from that day, none of the alleged crimes rely on the riots or that speech. The indictment doesn't charge Trump for inciting the January 6th riots. That would have been extremely hard to prove for reasons that we've discussed on this channel a lot, namely that the standard is very high and it would be very close to charging someone for potentially political speech. But here, the riots, according to the Department of Justice's narrative, were just another opportunity for the conspirators to delay or overturn the election. For example, during the riots, the conspirators were texting and calling senators to try to get them to delay certification and to pressure Mike Pence. So the riots were not an end in themselves, but a means to further the conspiracy. And this is a much cleaner way of conceptualizing the crimes from the DOJ's perspective than other ways that they could have drafted this indictment. Instead of lots of small towers with limited foundations, they constructed one giant tower with a huge base. Or more specifically, 3 large conspiracies sort of operating in parallel at the same time with generally the same aim. The first conspiracy was to overturn the legitimate results of the 2020 presidential election by using knowingly false claims of election fraud to prevent the actual slates of electors being collected, counted, and certified. The second conspiracy was to corruptly obstruct and impede an official proceeding, that is the actual certification of the electoral vote. And then the third conspiracy was to effectively hamper the right of some people to exercise their right to vote, effectively trying to discount or prevent the votes being counted in states where Biden won, where the conspirators were putting forth a fake slate of electors. Now, a quick word about conspiracy.
11,786
Many are bemoaning the indictment as the criminalization of political speech, but that seems to be based on a misunderstanding of how criminal conspiracies actually work. Consider this great commentary from NYU law professor Noah Rosenblum. The First Amendment protects the right to free speech, but does that mean that you can say whatever you want without facing criminal liability? Not at all. Consider the following 2 scenarios. I walk into a store and buy a crowbar. No crime. Life is good. 2, I call my buddy and say, let's go buy crowbars and use them to deprive people of their right to vote. He says, I agree. Let's conspire to do this thing together. I walk in the store and buy a crowbar. Bad news. Crime. Life is bad. The only difference between these 2 acts is the fact of agreement, which is expressed in speech, although it needn't be. The crime is conspiracy. Agreement to commit a crime plus a step towards its accomplishment. It's not the speech that's criminal.
Wow.
It's what the speech does. Constitute
You guys
an
catch
element
that?
of other crime. Here, Trump is charged with conspiracy, but the lies he made about the election are part of showing his knowing fraud an element of the crime. Don't worry, you can still lie in politics as much as you want, just don't do it as an element of another crime, like, say, participating in a conspiracy to defraud people of their right to vote. And that's exactly right. The only thing that I would add is a few other scenarios. The third scenario, a person says to themselves, I'm going to go out and buy a crowbar to deprive people of the right to vote, and then I go out and buy a crowbar. Still not a crime because there's no conspiracy, i.e. an agreement with another person. Now that's important because in conspiracies, if you have an agreement, all you need is one overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. And in the absence of a conspiracy, the act of buying a crowbar probably isn't enough to rise to the level of attempted interference. Because to attempt a crime by yourself usually requires
What about the act of bussing people in so you could have an army at your disposal?
that constitutes a substantial step towards completing that crime.
What about the act of giving additional speeches to fire up the crowd to get them to go to the Capitol?
And then there's the fourth.
What about the act of repeating the slogan, "You must stop the steal," giving the audience, the crowd, a call to action to incite them?
Scenario. A person says to themselves, I'm going to buy a crowbar to deprive people of the right to vote, buys the crowbar, and then actually starts hitting people waiting in line to vote. Now, still there's no conspiracy, but now you've taken a substantial step towards the crime and likely completed the crime, and you're guilty of that initial crime. So in the conspiracy context, and actually in many different legal contexts, speech will be relevant evidence. Was a conspiracy formed? What was the aim of that conspiracy? Did individual members have the requisite intent of the underlying crime? Was an overt action in furtherance of the conspiracy taken?
It's so simple.
Did the defendant say factually false things to
They're
induce
never going to
others
say
act?
it. Stop the
But here,
steal.
it's not the speech that's punished, it's the conspiracy.
It's
so
about
with that
stop
in mind,
the
that takes
steal.
us to the indictment itself. The indictment starts by correctly noting that Trump had a right to speak about the election, quote, and even to claim falsely that there had been outcome determinative fraud during the election and that he had won. He was also entitled to challenge the results through lawful means, such as, quote, seeking recounts or audits of the popular vote in states or filing lawsuits challenging ballots and procedures. And as the indictment notes, Trump pursued these methods, but they were uniformly unsuccessful. However, Trump did not have a right to dispute the election through, quote, unlawful means of discounting legitimate votes and subverting the election results. The indictment says that Trump perpetrated 3 criminal conspiracies to stay in office. And we start with 18 U.S.C. 371. That section criminalizes the use of deceptive practices in connection with any conspiracy for the purpose of impairing, obstructing, or defeating the lawful function of any department of government. Trump is charged with conspiring to stop Congress from certifying the election by submitting fake electoral slates. And there are 2 prongs to Section 371 cases. The offense prong prohibits conspiracies to commit acts that are otherwise defined as criminal under federal law. And the defraud prong prohibits conspiracies to obstruct a lawful function of the government by deceitful means. And the government must prove that the defendant entered into a conspiracy with the specific intent to defraud the United States, that the conspirators used deceitful or dishonest means, and that one of the members of the conspiracy performed at least one overt act for the purpose of carrying out the conspiracy. For the government to prove that Trump committed the crime, it must show that he used deceit, craft, or trickery, or dishonest means to achieve it. Section 371 does not criminalize every conspiracy to disrupt a government function. It only reaches conspiracies that use deceit, craft, or trickery, or dishonest means. And we'll talk about Trump's defenses later, but he's probably going to claim that he didn't use deceit
just
if
need
he
you to
truly
find
believed that he won the election. But the indictment concludes that Trump knew he lost. And the indictment lists all the people who told Trump that he lost, including the vice president, leaders of the DOJ who were appointed by Trump, the director of national intelligence, the director of the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, senior White House officials, campaign staffers, Republican state legislators and officials, and dozens of state and federal courts. And the indictment alleges that Trump privately acknowledged his loss. After the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff urged Trump not to take action on a national security issue, Trump agreed, saying, quote, "Yeah, you're right, it's too late for us, we're going to give that to the next guy." Yet publicly, Trump repeatedly tweeted and encouraged his supporters to come to Washington on January 6th to stop the vote. And allegedly, in another conversation on January 1st, 2021, Mike Pence told Trump that he didn't think that there was a constitutional basis for Trump's claims that the vice president lacked the authority to change the results of the election. And quote, in response, the defendant told Vice President, "You're too honest." Now, this strongly implies that Trump knew he had lost and was asking Pence to lie. And there are other examples. Apparently, he referred to some of Sidney Powell's theories as crazy. And even Rudy Giuliani said, quote, "We don't have the evidence, but we have lots of theories." But despite this, it is alleged that Trump knowingly continued to make false claims about the election and further took actions to subvert the election. And the indictment notes that they might have tricked other people into action. For example, the fraudulent electors were, quote, "tricked into participating based on the understanding that their votes would be used only if the defendant succeeded in outcome determinative
710,
lawsuits
dude.
within their state."
Did my 710 dollar go off?
Conspirators then
Or
caused these
what?
fraudulent
Did you guys see
electors
that?
to transmit their false certificates to the vice president
Cyber?
and other government officials
Yeah,
to be
that
counted
was
by the
that one.
certification
I'm packing
proceeding
a little
on
bit
January
more.
6, 2020.
A little
Now,
bit
some legal
more.
commentators claim that the government needs to
A
prove
little
that
bit
the
more.
defendant
I got a
intended to
bag,
swindle
bag,
money
bags,
or other
a little
tangible
bit
objects
more.
from the victim in order to be charged under Section 371. But that's only true if Trump was charged with a fraud crime like wire fraud. But here, he wasn't. The prosecutor doesn't need to prove that the conspiracy actually led to any
That's all I
property or
got.
monetary loss by the U.S. government or its agencies. The Department of Justice's criminal resource manual
Marshall
cites a
family.
1924
It's been a
case,
while,
Hammersmith
man. Where's
versus
the
United
long
States,
hair? Gone.
for
Hope
this
you're keeping
proposition.
trendy,
And
bro.
in that case, Justice Taft wrote, quote, "It is not necessary that the government shall be subjected to property or pecuniary loss by the fraud.
If a bear
but only
walks
that its
behind me,
legitimate
let me
official
know."
action and purpose shall be defeated by misrepresentation, chicane, or overreaching of those charged with carrying out
We're gonna
the
have
governmental
Cubs this
intention."
season, I believe.
And several more recent cases have affirmed that the word
Oh, I don't
defraud in
have-
Section 371
Cheers,
quote,
Cyber.
not only
Cheers,
reaches
Marshall
financial or
family.
property
Cheers,
loss
Dan
through by scheme or
Pasquarello,
artifice
Trendy
to
Nick,
defraud,
Ice
but
Man,
also is designed and intended
everybody
to
on the
protect
Rumble
integrity
and
of
the
United
Kick
States
that's
and its
watching. You guys,
agencies,
thank you for
programs,
tuning in.
and
Cheers.
policies. Now, the second criminal charge
Cheers,
relates to
bro.
subsection 1512,
Cheers, guys, and
which
cheers,
makes
Dan.
conspiracy to
Cheers,
violate
everybody.
Section 1512 a separate offense subject to the same penalties as the underlying offense. And a 1512K charge has no specific overt act element, and the courts have generally declined to imply one under such circumstances. Now, regardless of which section is invoked, conspirators are criminally liable for any crime committed in the foreseeable furtherance of the conspiracy. The indictment says that Trump, quote, did knowingly combine, conspire, confederate, and agree with co-conspirators, known and unknown to the grand jury, to corruptly obstruct and impede an official proceeding, that is, the certification of the electoral vote. Now, there are many examples of Trump and his co-conspirators trying to stop the certification process, and their actions on January 6th are notable, as the indictment accuses the conspirators of exploiting the violence at the Capitol in furtherance of their plot. After the rioters had been removed from the Capitol, Trump, through White House aides, attempted to reach 2 United States senators at 6 p.m. From 6:59 p.m. until 7:18 p.m., Rudy Giuliani placed calls to 5 United States senators and 1 United States representative. Co-conspirator 6 attempted to confirm phone numbers for 6 United States senators whom defendant had directed Giuliani to call, an attempt to enlist in further delaying the certification. Quote, in one of the calls, Giuliani left a voicemail intended for a United States senator.
Bro, there is a recorded call of Donald Trump telling someone to come up with 11,000 more votes. Okay? This is a conspiracy Donald Trump is guilty of. Boy, oh boy, they've got him on this.
It said, quote, We need you, our Republican friends, to try to just slow it down so we can get these legislators to get more information to you and know they're reconvening at 8 tonight, but the only strategy we can follow is to object to numerous states and raise issues so that we get ourselves into tomorrow, ideally until the end of tomorrow. Trump also called another senator, repeating false allegations of fraud in Arizona and Georgia. He also, quote, claimed that the vice president's actions had been surprising and asked the senator to, quote, object to every state and kind of spread this out a little bit like a filibuster. Shortly before the meeting to certify the election, White House counsel urged Trump to drop his objections and allow the meetings to proceed. Trump refused. The meeting of Congress was delayed for 6 hours, and when it resumed at 8 p.m., it certified Biden's election as president. Now, it's actually not weird that Trump's co-conspirators were lawyers, because sadly, finding a great lawyer is hard to do. But if you need a really good lawyer, my firm, Eagle Team, can help. If you've been in a car crash, suffered a data breach, or have a Social Security disability issue, we can represent you or help find you the right attorney who can. Just click on the link that's in the description for a free consultation with my team. Because you don't just need a legal team, you need the Eagle Team. And the link is down below. And the third
That's
charge
so funny
relates
that
to
he,
18
dude, he's like,
C2.
bro.
Yeah, that's a shameless promotion, dude.
Dude, but who'd that remind you of? Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Bro, if you need a lawyer, you need to call me, Saul Goodman, today. Better Call Saul. Dude, this was just... I have to see this
Oh,
again.
shameless, man.
Consultation with my
Shameless.
team. Because you don't just need a legal team, you need the Eagle Team. And the link is down below. And the third charge relates to 18 U.S.
Better Call Saul.
C2.
Saul
Trump was
Goodman.
indicted for obstructing an official proceeding of Congress. Now, the initial media reports about the target letter were confusing because they reported that Trump was being charged with witness tampering. And that's because the short title of 18 U.S.C. 1512 is tampering with a witness, victim, or informant. But here, Trump wasn't charged with witness tampering per se. Section 1512 covers other kinds of obstruction of justice. He was actually charged with violating Section C2 of the statute, which states, whoever corruptly obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding or attempts to do so shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Now, Section 1512C was added to the code as part of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. And to convict Trump under the statute, the government has to prove that he attempted to obstruct an official proceeding and that he acted with corrupt intent. The first element is relatively simple for
Nick, we don't mind that he promotes his business. We're just saying he reminded us of Better Call Saul. It doesn't bother... dude, he's giving us
Yeah, there was no criticism.
Bro, he's giving us a great video to watch. I would enjoy watching this guy all the time. If he wants to advertise his law firm, I would fucking use his law firm. You got us wrong, bro. You totally.
Yeah.
We accept
I
her.
didn't mean anything bad by saying shameless promotion. I mean,
Nick,
it was shameless, but it was great.
I
And
shamelessly
he
promote.
fucking-
Hey, I'm on Twitter at Nave's Garden. I'm on Threads at Nave's Garden Show. Use them both. I don't give a fuck. I say it all the time, man. I'm a shameless promoter.
Yeah.
I don't hate the guy for doing this at all. No one's gonna go to your shit unless you tell them about it. So, yeah, man. We'll accept your apology.
Many of the January 6 rioters were charged with violating 1512C. These defendants argued that the January 6 meeting of Congress was not an official proceeding, but courts ruled against them because Section 1515A1 defines official proceeding for purposes of Section 1512 to include a congressional proceeding. Now, the second element is whether Trump acted with corrupt intent.
He's a counterpuncher,
And
but he's got
some
tiny
January 6
little
defendants
hands.
challenged their indictments on the grounds that this element is unconstitutional.
They've got very
Vague, since
large
the word
hands. If you look at
corruptly
my
isn't
hands,
defined by Section
they're very
1512C.
large.
But several circuit
They're
courts
very
have
large
already
hands.
rejected this contention.
My
The courts
hands are
conclude
very
that
large.
corruptly in 1512C includes
Very
two
large
components.
hands.
One, intent to obstruct, impede, or
My
influence,
hands are
and two,
very
wrongful.
large.
And then count number 4 relates to the deprivation of rights under color of state law under 18 U.S.C. 241. Now, under that section, a government official can't deprive someone of their rights. And the statute dates from the Reconstruction era, but it doesn't require that the defendant's conduct be motivated by a specific bias against the victim, such as race, gender, or discrimination. But Section 241 makes it unlawful for 2 or more persons to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his having so exercised the same. And here the idea is that the conspirators conspired to prevent people from being able to exercise their right to vote. The offense is always a felony, even if the underlying conduct would not on its own establish a felony violation of another criminal civil rights statute. Now, critics of this indictment believe that Trump shouldn't have been charged with violating Section 241 because this law was passed during Reconstruction as a way to punish members of the Ku Klux Klan and other people from harassing black voters. And while it's true that this law was originally aimed at stopping harassment of black voters after the Civil War, it is in no way limited to stopping white Confederates from intimidation and harassment. And the DOJ has used this law to prosecute conspiracies to prevent the proper counting of ballots in federal elections for more than 100 years. The DOJ has charged government officials under 241 when officials tried to stuff a ballot box with forged ballots, prevent the official count of ballots in primary elections, destroy voter registration applications, destroy ballots, exploit the infirmities of elderly or handicapped people by casting absentee ballots in their names, illegally register votes and cast absentee ballots in their names, injure, threaten, or intimidate a voter in the exercise of their right to vote, impersonate qualified voters, fail to count votes and to alter votes counted, to steal votes by changing the votes cast by voters in voting machines, and the list goes on and on. Now, many of these alleged crimes will hinge on Trump's mental state. And we've covered this before. Did Trump have a specific intent to obstruct, impede, or influence the proceeding of Congress?
Yes.
Well, it's definitely possible. But since this indictment came down, there have been a lot of bad legal takes about what it actually means, especially with respect to Trump's mental state and what the prosecutors actually have to prove. Many journalists and even some lawyers have said that in order to convict Trump on these charges, prosecutors must prove that Trump knew that he lost the election. See, for example, this headline in the Washington Post, which says, the former...
They're going to be able to prove that Trump lost the election to a jury. They've got already several people on the record on video who are part of Trump's team that said Donald Trump admitted that he knew he lost the election. They've got that shit. And this was all a ruse. And he could have stopped it anytime he wanted to.
president's intent
You'll
and whether
see
he
that
knew he was
come up
lying
in the
about
trial.
the election fraud are key issues for prosecutors. Now, this is a big misunderstanding about what prosecutors must prove about Trump's mental state. Now, look, this stuff is hard, but it's not that hard. Now, first of all, criminal prosecutors prove intent and internal mental states all the time. It's not impossible. It's not even that hard. You can do it using statements that the defendant said. You can prove it using surrounding circumstances. Or in the case of
Witnesses.
conspiracies, you can even use the statements of your co-conspirators.
Yes.
Because in a conspiracy, you're generally liable for the acts of your co-conspirators,
He's
and the statements
fucked,
of your
man.
co-conspirators are not hearsay. And second of all, prosecutors have been using the statutes under which Trump has been charged against the January 6 protesters with great success. And Trump's potential defenses and issues about mental states have been raised and repeatedly rejected. He's not the first guy to claim that there was election fraud and thus his actions were excused. Now, to review, the DOJ says that Trump intentionally participated in 3 conspiracies that violate federal law. First, Trump is charged with violating Section 371 that makes it illegal to conspire to defraud or lie to the United States. The meaning of defraud is interfering or obstructing a lawful government function by deceit, craft, or trickery, or dishonest means. The indictment alleges facts showing that Trump used deceit and trickery and dishonest means to replace the legitimate electors with fake ones. And that's the reason for the heading on page 27, which says, quote, the defendants attempt to leverage the Justice Department to use deceit to get state officials to replace legitimate electors and electoral votes with defendants. And what Trump believed about the 2020 election, and thus whether he lied or was mistaken, goes to the element of deceit in Section 371. And that's arguably one of the reasons why the indictment contains so much information about whether Trump lied or not. In addition, it also just provides color and explanation about his motive. And if he did not actually believe he won the 2020 election, he would almost certainly have violated Section 371's prohibition against defrauding the United States government, i.e. lying to the government. But the second conspiracy is that Trump and his co-conspirators obstructed the January 6th congressional proceeding where the election would be certified in violation of 2 sections of Section 1512. And someone else who was charged with this violation is January 6th defendant Alan Hostetter, who was charged with violating Section 1752C2 and 1512K, just like Trump was. He tried to raise the First Amendment defense that Trump will rely on, but a federal judge rejected this defense, explaining that, quote, Mr. Hostetter is not being prosecuted for engaging in protected First Amendment activity, and I am making my decision without regard to his political beliefs, which I believe he holds sincerely. Mr. Hostetter has a right to believe whatever he likes about the 2020 presidential election, and to voice those opinions. But the First Amendment does not give anyone a right to obstruct or impede Congress by making it impossible for them to do their jobs safely. The judge ruled that Hostetter and his co-conspirator, quote, knowingly and intentionally entered into that agreement with the intent of furthering its unlawful goal of disrupting and impeding the Electoral College certification. And similarly, in Trump's situation, the government need only show that he intentionally took steps to obstruct the Electoral College certification. So, for example, when the government points to Trump's speech at the Ellipse, they don't have to prove that in his mind he knew everything he was saying was a lie. Instead, the speech is evidence that he wanted to encourage people to physically occupy the Capitol. And once those people were inside the Capitol and the certification was delayed, Trump and his co-conspirators continued to act in furtherance of their conspiracy by calling senators to further delay the vote. And Trump's subjective belief and motive might help explain those actions, but they're not necessary to prove the crime that he's alleged of. And the third conspiracy is that Trump allegedly interfered with the right to vote and to have one's vote counted in violation of Section 241. And that section requires that the defendant had an intent to deprive an individual of their rights and that the federal right violated was clearly delineated. And in a January 6th prosecution of Douglas Mackey, a jury instruction explained that the government had to prove, quote, that the defendant knowingly and intentionally joined the conspiracy with the intent to further a specific objective. And the Mackey jury instruction explains how a jury should assess the defendant's criminal intent within the context of this particular section. Quote, the indictment alleges that the objective of the charged conspiracy was to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate one or more persons in the free exercise and enjoyment of their right to vote. The government must therefore prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant knowingly and intentionally joined the conspiracy with the intent to further that objective. In this case, the government has alleged that the object of the conspiracy was specifically to injure one or more persons in the free exercise and enjoyment of their right to vote. I instruct you that the statute covers conduct intended to obstruct, hinder, prevent, frustrate, make difficult or impossible, or indirectly rather than directly assault free exercise of the right. For example, hinder is defined as to make slow or difficult the progress of, to hamper, to hold back, to prevent, to check. And again, Trump's subjective belief about the overall election or election fraud isn't necessary or an element of the crime. So the possible exception of the first count, Trump's subjective belief about the 2020 election, is basically irrelevant. It's his intentionality about his actions that matter. Here's how elections lawyer Mark Elias explained it. Quote, I walk into a bank and I think they're wrongfully holding my money. I think my balance is $5,000 and they think my balance is $0. And I genuinely believe that I'm owed $5,000. That doesn't excuse me from robbing the bank. I can't pull out a gun and take the money. Particularly with the fake elector scheme, even if you believe that you won, you are not entitled to have people submit fake forms on January 6th. Now, the rioters unsuccessfully took down the U.S. Capitol, but you can successfully get your online data taken down with today's sponsor, Incogni. Now,
nice
I don't know about you, but I've
segue.
seen a huge uptick in the amount of spam.
Smooth.
And it's
Yeah.
no surprise why.
He's
Every year, the
smooth,
number and
baby.
scope of data breaches worldwide is rising. And you might not know it, but there are hundreds of data brokers that possess and
I
sell
knew it
your
was
personal
coming, too.
information, and their numbers grow every year. These data brokers might have a whole shadow profile on you, including your name, your address, phone number, shopping habits, possibly even your social security number, all up for the highest bidder. At best, this leads to scam calls, and at worst, identity theft and doxing. But that's where Incogni comes in. Incogni fights on your behalf to remove your personal data from data brokers and deals with any objections from their side. All you have to do is create an account and give them approval to work on your behalf. Incogni conducts repeated ongoing removals because even if the data broker removes your data once, they can collect it again, which is just incredibly dumb. But Incogni makes sure that your personal information stays off the market for good. And you can actually see when Incogni does this on your personal dashboard. This is my personal dashboard that I paid for. It shows that these 3 sites had data on me that was rated 10 out of 10 on Incogni's sensitivity scale. These brokers had data including my contacts, financial data, and health data. Thankfully, Incogni tells me when the removal requests are complete so I can breathe easy. Now, it's terrifying to see exactly how many brokers have my data, but it's really fun to watch Incogni get them to delete that info one by one. So if you'd like to give Incogni a try, click on the link below to get 60% off Incogni when you use the code LegalEagle. So to get an exclusive 60% off, just click on the link that's on screen right now or down in the description and use code LegalEagle.
Caleb Johnston in the chat.
For more Legal Eagle, or I'll see you in court.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying your day, Nay. Caleb said. He never really was explicit as to why it said insane. The title of that video, and we just watched the whole video, was Trump's bonkers the insane Trump surrection indictment in D.C. I don't understand what was insane about it. He never said, I mean, if we listen to the very beginning.
Donald Trump has been criminally indicted for interfering with the 2020 presidential election. He's alleged to have participated in a vast conspiracy to interfere with the election and hold on to power. Yes, a federal grand jury impaneled in Washington, D.C. has indicted Donald J. Trump on 4 felony counts as part of Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. As Jack Smith said in his press conference,
Today,
So, I guess he's just making the comment that it's insane that this happened to a president.
Yeah.
An ex-president? Whatever. I don't know. I guess that's what he means, insane. I don't think the charges are insane. I think the charges are quite fitting, and I think he's going to be found guilty. The phone call to Georgia, where he says, I just need you to find, I need you to find me, 11,000. $378 votes, which is just one more. Which is just one more. I need you to find me, dude. I said 11,378. You know what it is? 11,780 votes. I just want to find 11,700. And you know how many videos I have of this? Let's go with this one.
We take you out live to Washington, D.C., where Georgia is on everyone's
Georgia
mind.
is on everyone's mind.
Between President Trump and that
you
state's
little
top election official. The president is heard asking him to find more votes to help overturn the 2020 election. Deborah Alfarone has
Have you heard this, Cyber?
President
No.
Trump made his
Yeah, I
biggest
heard
attempt
it,
to
but I
overturn the
don't.
results
I'm not
of the
that much
2020
into it.
election.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more
No,
than
I have
we
not heard
have.
that.
In
I have not
audio
heard
first
that.
obtained by the Washington Post of a Saturday phone call,
You talked over it, bro. You talked over it. You didn't hear it all because you started talking over it. He said, he was explicit. He said, which is one more vote than what we have. He is explicit. Bro, if that doesn't convict him of, that's him telling someone else to find more votes in the election. If that's not conspiracy, I don't know what is. It's literally recorded on tape. And what I don't understand is when we're watching this fucking lawyer dude just now, why doesn't he say that shit was on tape like that? It was so weird that he didn't mention that and show that on his channel.
Yeah.
Like he almost feels
That is
like
strange.
he was going to lose all of his Trump supporting viewers if he showed it. But this is what we have to deal with. People are literally in denial that piece of tape exists. Listen to him to the very end where he says which is one more than what we have.
election.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
In audio first obtained by the Washington
Yeah.
Which is one more than we have.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like he's so explicit for him to act like he thought that he won the election when he knows they lost that region by 11,780 votes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two evidences right there in one recording of two conspiracies covered right there.
When is his trial?
It's happening right now. They just oh no, it's the end of the month. It's August 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, the proceedings have begun. They arrested him.
Will it be televised?
I don't think so. I wish. I don't think so. The judge is like all being exercising her high and mighty might upon us. You know, every single person has asked, please televise this for the world. The world needs to see this. No, it must be this. Whatever. Fuck off, you dumb bitch.
That's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It is cases like that that should be televised.
An indictment was unsealed.
Fucking Donald Trump. The new Skyrim VR experience with AI should be banned. Really?
The streets of
Yeah,
Route 10
I
need some
haven't seen that
guidance.
video. I have seen a video. It's like
Sure you I
it's
don't need
basically
any
like that video
guidance.
showed you
Me
with
and my
Sky
boy just
with
ended the
GTA the
war.
other
Would
day.
you like to join my army of orphans?
Sure, why not? I've always wanted to lead an army of orphans. Let's see if we can recruit some little rascals with a taste for adventure.
Yes! Where's the boy gone? Boy! We've got someone else to help lead our army of orphans. Excuse me. Come here. Let's have a conversation. Feels like you can't be stood there. Your ankles will get all kinds of wet.
All right, you slimy fish. Prepare to be sliced and diced.
No.
Oh, the boy sounds absolutely fascinating. I'm sure his plentiful thoughts are enough.
Yeah, I'm afraid where that's going. I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to know. This is it's. What is this? How long has this AI shit been? When did they release this Chat GPT to us? How long has this been? Because it feels like it's only been like 2 months.
No, when it, I believe when it came out mainstream, it already had been out for a while, right? A lot of people just didn't really know about it. And then it came out mainstream, right?
What month?
No, I might be wrong on that. It was OpenAI. OpenAI, a lot of people have used before that. Then ChatGPT came out and then it blew up. I think. It was OpenAI people used before. And that's free. OpenAI, that's free. That's open source.
This shit's already out of
Yeah.
control. It's already beyond. It's out of control, man. It's exponentially growing, getting smarter, and doing exactly what we knew it was going to do, and just as
And when
fast.
they combine that with those new cells, they have made artificial cells, combined DNA and molecules or something, and created artificial cells, basically Frankenstein dead cells into life. When they combine that with that AI, who have evolved way farther when they have evolved those cells into be something usable, then we have a real world fucking cyborg walking around thinking for itself.
Right. I just want to find 11,780 votes. God, I was so close. 11,780 votes. We're just going to stop the steal and find 11,780 votes. Why would you need 11,780 votes if you won, Trump? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean you know you lost? Dude was like, Trump, all of the votes are in. I can't find a single more vote for you. All the votes are in. They're all counted. And we counted it twice. The response to that was hilarious. The dude was like, there's nothing we can do for you, bro. Dude, did you see that? Telling NPCs they live in a simulation?
Yeah, the way he walks around in GTA. Yeah, if it's the GTA video, yeah.
Smart Polly. Fucking dude, he walks up to. He's walks up to some of the responses. Man, were insane. Got into these long conversations with a couple of them, where they're like, "What do you mean I'm not real?" And they're like, "No, I mean you're not a human. You're in a simulation." And they're like, let's go for a walk around the city and forget about all of that. And then he goes up to another one. He tries to have the same type of conversation, and they're like, yeah, I know I'm code, but sometimes it's cool, that I don't have to worry about some of the shit that humans have to worry about. It gets gotten into these really crazy conversations, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking unreal shit. I mean, people are. People are never gonna get up from those fucking games.
Nope.
How much gold is in Home Depot sand? 17 million views.
No idea.
This was that fucking game. Unreal Engine that. What's it called? Frostbite?
No, Frostbite is an engine. That's the engine that GTA 5 is running in, right? Or GTA 4.
What's the engine for Unreal 5?
That's the engine. Unreal 5 is the engine.
Yeah.
Frostbite is another engine. That's the engine that runs the Battlefield games, I believe, and Battlefront.
It's so realistic, man.
It's hard to believe, but what you're seeing right now is not real-life footage from a camera. It's actually gameplay from an Unreal Engine 5 video game called Unrecord that's currently in development from a new independent studio. This video has taken the gaming internet by storm. It's hard to believe, but what you're seeing right now is not real-life footage from a camera. It's actually
you can pre-order that game on Steam right now.
5 video game footage from a camera. It's actually gameplay.
Dude, look how realistic that shit looks right off there in the trees.
Yeah.
What the fuck? There's gotta be repeated trees there, right? It's gotta be a goddamn, I'm just looking. I don't see anything repetitious out there, bro. It's all, bro, it's all different. That's not the same tree right there, is it? No, it's not. God damn, bro.
The Unreal Engine have fucking thousands, if not
Play
millions,
from
of
an
different
Unreal
trees in the
Engine 5.
engine, you know. So it's not surprising if they're not you don't see repetitions. And the same, the Unreal 5 engine had implemented something called nanites. That why the graphic look, they can get the graphics to look so fucking real. Because back in the days they used triangles and shit to color it. Now it's individual pixels, and that pixel have a color depending on the elevation and the placing of that single pixel compared to all the other pixels and shit. It's really fucking mind blowing. Look up, it's called nanites in Unreal 5.
Look at the lighting coming through that doorway.
Yeah.
Whoa, just that dude run by? Watch it. Watch the dude run by. He runs by
I know,
so...
I've seen it before.
He runs by so fast. Holy shit. That's fucking crazy, dude. Got that guy. Boom, right there. Jamie Reeder, I'm fine. How are you? Thank you for asking. Wow, look at that. Oh, oh. Dude. That was brutal. See that shit again. Oh. Damn, bro. Damn. God, dude, these clips are crazy. They're so much better without listening to the dude. Fuck yeah, bro. That's, look, oh, he's laying there. That's what's up. Boom. What? Dude, oh, his head's bleeding out. Bro, there's blood squirting out of his head. Dude, watch this.
I know we've seen it before, bro.
Yeah, but
We
it's
said
blurred.
exactly the same thing last time we
It's
saw it.
blurred out, bro. But you can see it's still happening. Oh, dude, the blood goes all over the wall behind him, bro. It's like bam, 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 blood on the wall. Love it. Blood's coming out of his skull. It's all blurred out because whatever. I want to see the bubbling crude. Up from his head came a bubbling Brood blood, that is. Headshot. Boom. Well, oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. God, it's fucking beautiful. Oh my god. How dare you blur that shit out? How,
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
how dare you? I gotta see this game. Do some kill. Oh wow. It's funny when he runs, you see his hands out in front of him. Oh. See, we're getting like a lot of gameplay here. It's crazy. I guess this is where you start from. Oh shit. What the hell was that? Dude, the water reflection on the ground. Holy moly, what? Oh, he just fast forwarded through it or something. Dude, look at the wind. Dude, look at the windshield, man. Look at the windshield on this van. God, bro. So realistic, man. Wow. It's amazing.
It is.
Oh. Oh. Are you having deja vu because we watched this before?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's gonna no, don't trust him. Nope. Nope.
I believe it's coming out end of this year already. If I'm remembering right. You can pre-order it on Steam already.
What the hell? Oh, someone else shot him? Who are you? Everything will be fine. Damn, man. That'll give you dreams, bro. That kind of reality. Dude's a straight killer, bro. Looks like a movie, I know. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Marshall family. It's been a while, nay, where's the long hair gone? Hope you're keeping trendy bro.
I just want to find.
Forbid he promote his business. Dave Fisher.
11,780 votes.
Which is one more than we have.
Which is one more than we have. Which is one more than we have. does he mean one more? Does he mean 11,780 votes more? What does he mean one more? If he means one more, why didn't he just say one more? Find me one more vote. Get your grandmother to go vote. See, I want to see how messed up the bodies get from the gunshots.
Hashtag Lockhammer. Dave Fishing. Trump Crime Family. Restream.io. Congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Callum Johnston. Hope you're enjoying your day, Nick. Callum Johnston. I would like to meet you someday. You're a really nice person, Nick. Dave Fishing. Georgia. Technical underscore Unkit.
You want to smoke?
No, I'm good, bruh.
Okay.
You go ahead.
I will. I definitely will.
Billy. Hey, Billy.
Yes, though.
I just want to find 11,780 votes. 11,780 votes.
Technical underscore Unkit. Essay. Technical underscore Unkit. Please. Technical underscore Unkit. 1K. Technical underscore Unkit. Carba do NA. Technical underscore Unkit. 1K Carba do NA. Technical underscore Unkit. 1K Carba do NA. Technical underscore Unkit. 1K Carba do NA. Technical underscore Unkit. Please. Technical underscore Unkit. 1K Carba do NA. Technical underscore Unkit. Please. Technical underscore Unkit. SAME. Technical underscore Unkit. 1K Carba do NA. Technical underscore Unkit. Please. Jamie Reader. Nick. How are you? Dave Fishing. Looks like
Dave Fishing.
Bonsai House. Evening. Bonsai House. Can't hear the chat. It's silent like Dravens be holy. Bonsai House. I heard the best Trump joke on earth today. Bonsai House. Jesus man.
I think the best Trump joke on earth is that there's a tape of him saying, I just need you to find 11,780 votes. 11,870 votes. 780 votes. It's just one more than we need. It's 11,679 they must have had. And he said they could find 80. 11, that's one more than what they need. I got you. It's one more than what they have. Billy, what's the best Trump joke? We could have so much fun together if you talk to me on Rumble. I just need you to find me 11,780 minutes. Which is just one more than we have. I'd be like, yo, Trump, when you say find the votes, what exactly do you mean? Specifically. How am I supposed to find the votes? You're not going to tell me the joke, Billy? I heard the best Trump joke on earth today. Okay. Let's hear it, Billy. Jesus, man. Silence. Alright.
Bonsai House.
Oh, there it is.
I saw a TikTok from a Joe Rogan of he impersonating Trump being shot. It was hyperventilatingly hilarious. I'll find it for ya.
Trump being shot, yeah. Alright. Find me the votes. Find me the votes.
Bonsai House. You have so much patience.
Bro,
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
done an hour. I'm high. I'm tired. I want to end the show. I'm just waiting for you. I'm just trying to be nice. Because the people on Rumble don't want to talk to me.
Don't want to talk to you because you don't want to smoke with me. Kind of common.
Well, even when I smoked with you, even when I smoked with you, they weren't talking.
I know you're high. It's all good, bro.
Dave Fishing.
No, I smoke, but I'm just saying.
I know. I'm not gonna force you.
Even when I was smoking with you, they weren't talking in Rumble. We don't have a single chat in there tonight.
I know.
It's like they all come over and watch.
Dave Fishing.
I don't know.
I'm smoking W.
They're
Cyber LOL.
lurking assholes.
Dabs 4 days. Cyber, what time is it in Denmark?
What time is it?
It is 2 a.m. 2 a.m. But I was sleeping in late today. Normally when I usually only sleep a few hours, then I wake up and then I go to sleep again. I very rarely sleep 8 hours in a row. And today I woke up like I usually do and fell asleep again, woke up again, smoked a bunker, fell asleep again. And then I just woke up 8 o'clock. I didn't even get to go and buy groceries because I slept in.
Cyber,
That was actually
do you use
cool to sleep in.
Do you use Restream?
No, I just use Open Broadcast.
Okay.
Restream, that costs money, right?
No, it's free. I think it's still free.
Okay. That was the reason I never looked into it, because I would imagine they would charge money for you to stream to several channels.
No, it's like StreamYard. There's paid packages, like if you want to stream to more than one YouTube channel or more than one Facebook channel, like I do, you could pay for it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Dude, when is that when is that fight? The 6th. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right?
Cringe that Jake Paul, he think he's a big fighter now. All those people he have been fighting have been washed up fucking people, all the YouTubers. It's a fucking joke, man.
Patrick
I really
John
look
Welder.
forward to someone really fucking beat him up, dude.
It's tonight.
I hate that dude. I
Dude, the
fucking
fight's
hate him.
tonight. Dude, what is it, like $150 to watch that fight on pay-per-view?
No idea.
And, dude, it's Nate Diaz is gonna beat the shit out of Jake Paul, I bet.
Bonsai
I
House.
fucking hope. I
Here's
really
the
fucking
exact
hope.
joke.
I
Patrick
really,
John
really
Welder.
hope.
It's $50. Bonsai House.
It's only $50? Oh my god, I would totally watch that.
Bonsai House. It just started actually.
It says Dave Chappelle introduced Shane Gillis in the Comedy Cellar.
Patrick John Welder. They're fighting in Dallas, Texas.
Beginning of his career. Please welcome from almost Saturday Night Live, Shane Gillis.
Hippie chick. Good evening, Nick.
Hey, hippie chick.
Bonsai House.
I'm gonna keep my
It's worth the watch.
I'm gonna keep my comments brief. All right, Shane, you once did a joke that I love, and I hate making requests. I saw you do a joke about Donald Trump getting shot.
All right. Try to remember it.
He said he would die funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if he dies in the joke.
No. I said, of all the presidents, I think it's fair to say Donald Trump would be the funniest one to see get shot.
I agree with
He'd
that.
be in the middle of a speech talking shit. Just, you're gay.
Dave Fishing. Haha.
The shooter would be coming at him and be like, sit down, get down. What a loser, get down, sit down.
Yeah, loser.
But just the noise he would make when he got hit. Even if you love Donald Trump, it would be funny. As soon as he got hit, he'd be like, ah! But the rest of the joke, which is my favorite part, that didn't really, a lot of people didn't like it, was Biden. I think Biden's the first president you could punch assassinate. You just walk right up to him and Mr. President, how the fuck are you doing?
That's fucked up, bro. That's fucking great. Oh my god, dude, that guy actually said that shit. He goes, That is exactly what Donald Trump would sound like.
Bonsai House. Told ya.
That's really fucking good. Oh my god. That was really good, Billy. Yep.
Bonsai House.
Okay.
You are welcome.
Okay. Okay. Are they talking about Biden sniffing people and shit? There's evidence. There's so much evidence that Joe Biden is corrupt.
Imagine your handlers, people that are your handlers, okay? If I go to your handler and I say, hey, here's what we like to do something with Joe. Let's just say you and I have never had any interaction together. I'd like to pitch Joe XYZ show or do this. Okay. He says, let me get back to you. If they're professionals, there's one of two things that happens. One, he comes up to you. If he doesn't get back to me, my interpretation is Joe's not interested.
Right.
Or they forgot to follow up, okay? Because they're so busy. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they forget to follow up. But if it happens 3 different camps, it's not the team. You don't want to do a lot of these tough long-form interviews. So I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting election cycle to see what will happen. I don't think a lot of people think Joe's going to be there at the end.
Also, Kamala, what do they do with her?
Oh my God!
If he steps down, what do they do with her? Do people demand that she runs? Like
I think one person would lose their minds if Joe steps down. Someone would absolutely lose her shit. You know who that is?
Who?
Hillary.
Yeah.
She's not the first. Kamala becomes the first president. You know, if he steps down before, or if he finishes, I mean that's some crazy stuff right there.
Yeah, I just can't imagine the United States wants President Kamala Harris. I don't think anybody wants that. Nobody wants that. I mean, maybe some people would prefer that over President Trump, but nobody wants that. Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. The guy's a fucking con man. I mean, everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids, when it was totally unnecessary, to being caught out in public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
All of it. It's just, nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone cold, narrative driven politician. You know, and nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and you know that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. It's just, I don't think people want that. But they might want it more than they want President Trump. And that's where we got Joe Biden. We didn't get Joe Biden because Joe Biden's amazing. Joe Biden's been a goof his whole fucking career. He's always been a goof. He's been caught lying so many times.
Yeah.
He's so full of shit.
No.
There's so much evidence he's corrupt. Just undeniable evidence of corruption. And the stuff with him and his son, and then the guy who just testified that was business partners with Hunter.
Yeah.
We talked about all the different things that Joe was involved with.
Devin Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking undeniable. And the fact that mainstream news is ignoring this, except for right-wing media, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but on the back end, when they flip, they're all united when they flip. Meaning,
if they go after him, like they did with Cuomo.
Exactly. So to me, Andrew Cuomo is a case study of what's about to come. Like, it's a conversation where whoever that guy is, there's got to be a guy that makes the phone call, right? That guy can talk to him. And they say, Joe, it's time. We got to figure something out, and you got to step away. And we're going to protect your legacy. Netflix has already agreed to do a massive 4-part series documentary on your life. And we got you a $30 million deal with Simon & Schuster, okay? And outside of that, you're good, you're scored away, you're gonna get this award, you're gonna get that award, and your wife's gonna get this, and you're gonna get this, and you don't have to worry about pardon, all this, but you gotta step away. That person's gonna make the phone call, especially to the people when you're part of the establishment. That person can't make the phone call to the anti-establishment people. But that person can make the phone call to the establishment people, and he's full-blown establishment, 50 years if you want to, 60 years. The Newsom thing is a little bit interesting. I think Newsom is 10 times more marketable than Biden. When Newsom went on Hannity, I don't know if you saw it or not, most people said Newsom won. And oh my God, he did a very good job representing himself as a politician. First of all, what you're doing is you're going in enemy territory, Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity is a Trump guy, so you're willing to go to anybody, and you go to him. You didn't go to somebody that's a little safer. You went straight to him. And afterwards, everyone's like, Newsom showed up, he did this, he did that. So if Newsom takes a page out of Trump's playbook to go against opposition, he shows strength, Democrats are just going to get behind somebody, and they got a behemoth of a machine to start talking about why he's such a hero, why he's such...
All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Cyber, thank you. I will see you guys
Anytime, bro.
Either tonight or tomorrow. I don't know, but most likely tomorrow. And I'm at Nays Garden on Twitter, Nays Garden Show on Threads. Bye, guys. Hope you had fun.
Bye-bye.